The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Welcome to my show. It is a special interview I'm doing here with Shannon Perry. Hello, doll.
Hi. Good to see you, Patty.
You're an author, a singer, and a lecturer, and you're on TV and radio. Have I missed anything?
No.
No.
You didn't include cooking, but that's okay.
Oh,
Really, we don't
she's
include
a good
that part
cook.
anyway.
Where are you from?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
I understand there's
Yeah.
a big flood that's happening there.
Yeah, we had Harvey come in a couple of weeks ago, and it's just been, Patty, it's a tragedy that's happened down there, but we've seen so many wonderful things happen.
Oh.
We've seen that people step up for other people, and the churches have united and just be in the hands and feet of Christ to so many people, and it's just been amazing to watch people helping people. It doesn't matter what color their skin is. It doesn't matter what religion they are. It doesn't matter what. It's just people having the hands and feet of Christ, being the hands and feet of Christ to other people. It's been great.
God knows what He's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you came here to Fort Wayne. She has done a retreat here. Tell me about this retreat. What's it called?
Well, this is the Northeast Indiana Nazarene Women's Conference. And so about 400 women are here, and they descend on this hotel every year. This is an annual event for them, and it is a fabulous event. The women here are just precious. They're wonderful. The leadership is just amazing, and they have decorated. We're doing If the Shoe Fits conference this weekend, so they have decorated this whole place with shoes in pink and green, and it looks like a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Just like your book.
Yeah, just like my book. Exactly right. But we're having a ball.
And this is the book that she has.
That's it. Sure.
And that is called
Grace in High Heels.
Grace in High Heels. But the subject this time and this year is In Her Shoes.
That's right.
And here is the CD.
Yeah, the CD.
The CD called In Her Shoes. That's what she's touring around. Are you international?
Well, I'm not international, but this is a mother-daughter conference that we've started. If they want to see the back of the DVD, or CD, that's my mom. I lost my mom in March, and I had started a mother-daughter conference 2 years ago. We had a lot of people who had just had a passion for this conference and basically gave to this conference so that we could tour and we could do this conference. And then my mom got sick, and so I just kind of laid it down. But we're getting ready to go back out on the road again and to do this mother-daughter conference called In Her Shoes. And we've seen such amazing things happen at these events. We've seen moms and daughters who don't talk to each other anymore. We've seen them, just build a beautiful relationship. We've seen so many wonderful things happen. We had one mom and one daughter who the mom hadn't even seen the daughter for 2 weeks. She had run away, and she showed up at the conference at the last minute. She wasn't happy to be there. You could tell she's kind of sat with her arms folded. By the end of the conference, this mom and daughter were embracing. They were hugging. This girl got saved at the conference. So those are the kind of things that are happening through In Her Shoes. It's been pretty powerful.
So how do you talk to the crowd?
Well, we start off, we have different sessions that I teach, and then we take a break, and the moms go in one room and the teenagers go in another room, and the girl who travels with me is younger, so she takes the teenagers and asks them some questions about some things that teens are going through, and then of course I take the moms, and they have a session where they talk to one another, and so and we have a lot of fun. We play games and we have skits, and we have lunch and we eat. So
It's
it's
an
just a
all-day
full
thing?
day. It's a
Yeah.
full day thing.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
you're having
We
a-
won't be doing it here. We're doing If the Shoe Fits here, and that's for the women. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. I wish I had gone, but from what you're saying, you're doing an awful lot of good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank
doll.
you. Thank you.
So let's recap your bio here. What made you want to be a singer?
Well, that's a great question. My mom got me involved in choir when I was 6 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, you tell a kid they're good at something, they like to excel at it. So that's what I did. And I just started singing, and that's kind of how I got started, with singing in church, and then just kept doing it until
You expanded?
expanded. That's a good word for it.
When did you become an author?
Well, I did. I became an author against my will, really.
Oops.
My publicist was trying to tell me that I needed to be an author, and I told her I was not one. And she basically told me, I'm not going to take you as one of my clients unless you write a book. And so I really wanted to be her client, so I wrote a book, and she was right. She kept saying, I believe you can write a book. And I said, no, I can't. So when God has a plan for us, sometimes we don't think we can do it, but if
We
He's
do.
in it, we can do it.
You are a radio person as well as a TV person.
I am. We have a TV show called Grace in High Heels also that goes over into 100 million homes every
Oh,
week.
wow.
We're on the NRB and GEB, and we're in Florida, and
Are
we're
you
in Atlanta.
Streaming?
We don't, well, they stream off of the shows, yeah. So, but we're on the networks if they want to. It's the Christian networks, the string of Christian networks that they can catch the show.
So there's one here that you have your show.
Uh-huh.
This is in Fort Wayne, and she comes all the way from Houston, Texas. I'm glad.
Thank you. Me too.
I finally meet up with her. All this chit-chat, and now we finally meet. The name of your tour,
In her shoes.
In Her Shoes, what made you want to do this subject?
Well, my mom and I were very tight. We were very close. She was my best friend. And, one of the things that she always said is it's really important for moms to be involved in their kids' lives. And my mom was very involved in my life. And I worked with a lot of kids, being a school counselor and being a school teacher and things like that. That's what I did before I started on tour. And so, of course, kids are I have a passion for reaching the next generation for Christ, and so that's kind of how that started. And we just have seen God do amazing things.
And your recent book, this is the book.
Well, actually,
Are you working on another?
I'm working on another book. Yes, I am, and I'm working on a new women's conference too.
Oh,
Yeah.
so how often do you go around the United States?
As often as they'll have me. I travel probably 30-40 dates a year. So, yeah.
And it's just United States, no?
So far, it's just the United States. I
Oh.
was invited to do some international things,
Yeah.
but of course, my mom was ill, and so I chose not to go. But if it comes back up,
Hey, why not?
That's exactly right. Why not? They need Jesus too, right?
So who had influenced you to do a ministry such as singing and doing retreats and...
Well, I really never thought I would be a speaker or an author or any of those things. And as I just began singing in different places, people kept saying, do you ever speak? And I said, no, I'm not a speaker, I'm a singer. Well, then when I kept going to speak, they finally said,
You can't do both?
they kept inviting me back. So
Oh.
I thought, well, maybe God's opening another door. And so as I began speaking, they kept saying, well, hey, if you like to speak so much, why don't you become a writer? And I said, oh, I'm not a writer. I'm a speaker and a singer. And now I'm a writer. And then they said, well, why don't you do radio? I said, no, I'm not a radio show host. I'm a singer and a speaker and writer and radio. And on it goes. I kept saying, sometime I'm going to say I'm not a millionaire and see what happens.
Guess what?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how many years have you been doing retreats?
This is my 8th year.
8th year?
That's right.
This is my 8th year of being in the television.
Yeah. How about that?
Mm-hmm. And what themes have you been doing in the retreat?
We have 3 themes that we do. We do an If the Shoe Fits conference. We do a Pursuing God conference. We go from shoes to purses, and we each one of those have 4 different topics in them, and then we have music that I've written for each of the topics too.
Oh.
So we do a little bit of music and a lot of teaching, and we have a lot of fun.
So you said you're writing a book.
I'm writing a book. I'm writing a new book.
Okay. Are you going to give a little bit away?
I'll give a little bit away. I won't give the title away, but I'll give a little bit away. You know, what I found, Patty, is that as women, we need to have boundaries in our life. We struggle with, a lot of times, overdoing it. And so one of the things that God impressed upon me was learning how to set boundaries, but also knowing how to address certain areas in our life that we struggle with, and how to push through those, and how to set boundaries in our life so that we can get through those certain things. Like, I don't know, I've addressed all kinds of things. I've addressed betrayal, for example. A lot of us experience betrayal in some way, whether it's a friend or a spouse or a boss, whatever it may be, a child.
Right.
How do we get through betrayal? But how do we set boundaries so that people know, so that we're not going to allow them to be, you know, if they betray us, there's a certain thing that, you know, God wants us to do, which is to guard our heart. That's scriptural.
And to forgive.
And to forgive, absolutely. But we guard our heart, and we let people know the heart is where the Spirit lives, and we don't want to quench that. And so that's part of what I'm writing about.
That's cool. I wouldn't mind getting that book.
I would love for you to have it.
So what do you see in the future for your whole ministry?
Well, like I said, the new book, there's a new conference coming out with that new book, so that's exciting. And I really see the mother-daughter event kicking off. I'm real excited about that. I'm real excited about taking that into churches and reaching the next generation for Jesus. So that's what I see, and I see me having to get a lot of sleep so I can stay young to keep up with all this stuff that God's put me to do. So that's what I see in my future.
You're non-denominational, right?
I attend a non-denominational church. Yes, I attend a Bible church.
Right.
But I was raised Baptist. My dad was a deacon in the Baptist church. I was raised Baptist. But
You was raised Baptist.
I go to a non-denominational church now. But you know, if they teach the Bible and they teach the truth
doctrine
of Jesus, and they teach the gospel,
Yeah.
that's what's important. Yeah.
That's indeed. That's the most important thing.
That's right. That's right.
God's word.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So I have a CD that I bought today from, you have a felt pen or anything like that you can sign this with?
Absolutely. I'll get a felt pen. I'll tell you what, as soon as we're done, I'll sign it for you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just want to look at it.
You bet.
Oh, you got a lot of songs in here, man.
Mm-hmm.
When the crazy kicks in.
Uh-huh.
What's that?
Isn't that a good song for moms of teenagers?
Definitely. You look so youthful in this picture.
Thank you.
You still are. Okay, I'll get out of that one.
Yeah, you got out of that one quick.
So, how many CDs have you done?
I've done 6.
And only 2 books?
Done 3 books.
3
This will be my 4th book.
Your 4th book.
Yeah.
I haven't caught up with her yet. So have you gotten platinum or anything like that?
No. I did get an award recently.
Did you?
I did. For my book for teen girls got the Reader's Favorite Award. So that was quite an honor. I wasn't expecting that. So that was very special.
So where did you get the award?
Well, I haven't actually gotten it yet. I'll be going to actually, it was in Miami. It's going to be in Miami that we'll have an award
Is
ceremony.
anything left there?
Yeah, I know. If there's anything. Yeah, I haven't seen Miami since, I haven't planned my trip yet there. So, but that's the plan, is I get to go and receive an award and walk across the stage and do all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is, it's great to be honored for the truth of God's word being taught to teenagers. That's exciting.
Do you have any Dove awards?
I don't. No, I haven't been in it long enough to really submit to that kind of thing. What I've done is kind of just take my music and take it to my conferences, and that's what I've done. I haven't done a lot of my. I've been on chart. I've had charting songs on radio before, and so that was the quite an honor.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Thank
onto
you
my
for
show.
thank you for coming to visit tonight. It's a late night.
Where'd it go? The angel.
I put it in my bag.
Oh, you. I thought I was going to step on it. Anyways, this is Patty Hunter with Shannon Perry.
Thank you.
My favorite personality and celebrity, too.
Oh, you're so sweet.
She's a friend of mine, too. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless. And thank you, God bless you, and I'll see you next week. This is Patty Hunter and Patty's Page. Ciao, ciao. Dr. Alveda King, you are the director of the Civil Rights for the Unborn for Priests for Life, along with Father Frank Pavone, who is the National Director of Priests for Life. You're both honored as two of the 40 faithful highlighted in the American Family Journal July-August 2017 edition. How did that make you feel?
What an honor.
What an honor.
Yes,
Oh, I'm happy. How did you feel about that when you got this honor?
Well, when I heard about it, certainly to join Father Frank in that same category with the others who are being honored. And you know, we represent hundreds of thousands of people who do the kind of work that we do. We're not a small movement, as you know, Patty, because you have so many people on the air that are doing the same kinds of things as you and Bob are doing as well.
Yeah.
So it just feels good for people to know that we are not alone. And the other thing, people say, oh, well, that's them. They're in this great, high, lofty category. No. We all do our part. And as we do our part, then the work is not as hard. If everybody just does what God asked him to do or her to do, then the work is not so hard.
So your dad, Reverend A.D. King, as well as your Uncle Martin Luther King, their contributions for the civil rights movement, were they recognized as well, along with you?
Well, actually, many people during the civil rights movement have been recognized. My uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., was often compared to a 20th century Moses, a liberator leading a people to freedom. Of course, Moses was a man of God. My uncle, M.L., was a man of God. My dad, perhaps, was compared to his brother. You had Moses, and then you had Moses' brothers, Aaron. You had Joshua, and you had Caleb.
Yeah.
And so sometimes one of those models was you had a pair of leaders working together, one out front and one supporting. And of course, that's the way it was with my uncle and my dad. And then my granddad, Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., was certainly a civil rights leader in his own rights.
And you follow in that footsteps, my dear. You are a leader.
The best I can.
Yes, you are definitely a leader. The pro-life movement in the 21st century, what does that compare to?
Well, when we look at that, you think about the time when Moses was born. Moses the liberator, the Pharaoh was afraid or concerned that a baby would be born because the prophets were talking, and that would liberate the people, the Hebrews, the Jews at the time. And so he says, kill all the little boy babies. And so this is not the first time that this kind of thing has happened. Certainly Jesus Christ, the Lord of all of us, during the time of Jesus' lifetime, then the king ordered all the little boy babies from 2 years old, from the womb up until 2 years old, to be killed, because trying to kill the liberator. And then you have, of course, during the days of Martin Luther King Jr., the 20th century civil rights movement, the great liberator Martin was killed. President Lincoln was killed for signing the Emancipation Proclamation, you see. So anytime there are efforts to liberate a nation or to free the world, then you see these efforts to cut it off. And that's what you see with all these little babies. 60 million babies have been aborted since 1973 legally on the books. So that means there are many more who have also been aborted. And we know that that's the same type of thing. The Holocaust with the Jews, a very horrifying, horrendous time. So we know that when you have liberation going on, that the devil will try to stop it and begin to kill the liberators.
Yes, this is a fallen world, and we have to fight with God through this.
Absolutely.
And also, Charlie Gard, the little one in Britain. What are your views on this, how they're refusing to give the little one help, especially the government?
I just think it's so terrible when we have these kinds of horrendous events where people who are able to help are not allowed to help. And so certainly we must continue to pray. Yes.
And your thoughts about Father Frank Pavone condemning the new law in Oregon about it's free abortions on demand for all women. What gives? I thought we were trying to stop Planned Parenthood.
Well, we're trying to stop Planned Parenthood and what's happening in Oregon and this legislation that they're trying to pass to say that the immigrants or human trafficking victims and all of that need to have free abortions and easy access to abortion. That's just code for we really want to get rid of more undesirables, but let's make it seem like we're going to help them.
Yeah.
And that's Margaret Sanger did that. You know, she said colored people are like weeds. They really need to be exterminated. But we don't want the word to get out, so let's find some of their people and tell them we're going to pay and help to do all these things free for them so that they will join us and accept our message. So in other words, we want to exterminate you, but we're going to make it seem like we want to help you. We're compassionate, and if you've been raped or molested or something, we're going to give you free abortions. Well, they already know that the abortion will kill a baby. The abortion will hurt the body of the woman, because however or wherever a woman is pregnant, abortion is often connected to breast cancer, cervical cancer, other medical problems. They know that, and they also know that abortion will not cure human trafficking, sex trafficking. They know that abortion will not cure anything. Abortion is just going to bring more pain and more hurt. If a woman has been raped and the baby's there, once the baby's born, everybody will know who the father is, right? See? So let's just kill everything and take it out and make sure maybe we'll slip a hysterectomy in there or cut the woman's organs up a little bit so she can't get pregnant again. Just don't tell her. People don't believe all this stuff is going on, but it is. It really is.
And in Kenya, this judge is trying to pass abortion, trying to force Kenya to do it, even though they don't want it.
Kenya usually fights back, and I had a wonderful opportunity to travel around the globe for a season during my work as Director of Civil Rights for the Unborn. We were African American Outreach then. So I went to Jamaica, Trinidad, I went to Ireland, different places. I spoke before London. In London, I spoke before the UN. And at the same time, President Barack Obama was in office, so he was going down there telling them, we'll give you money, we'll give you aid, but we need you to take the condoms and the birth control devices and the Depo-Provera. And so I told the people, I said, you know what? All of those shots, pills, procedures, surgeries, they're going to hurt the mama, kill the baby. They're going to diminish your country. It's going to put you into worse poverty. So the people were listening to me. And so I was so glad to have that opportunity to spread that truth. We have to continue to spread this truth all over the world.
Is America's population going down because of all these...
We don't replace ourselves. We're and right now in Georgia, I think Atlanta at least, but certainly in New York, especially in the African American population, more babies are aborted than born. And so we are not replacing ourselves, but that's across every ethnic group. No such thing as every race, because there's one race, the human race, one blood. Yeah. You remember President Obama said it, not Obama, oh goodness, President Trump said during his inauguration that no matter what color our skin is, our blood is red. Acts 17:26, of one blood God made all people. We can't be colorblind, because if you're colorblind, you need to go to the doctor and get some glasses, you know. Something's wrong with your eyes if you can't see color. Of course you can see color, but you see the wonderful contributions that each ethnic group makes to humanity. You see that, and you celebrate that, but we are one human race.
You betcha. And also, talking about Trump, you were thanked by him. It was on the news.
Yes,
that was
I
kind of
voted for
nice.
President Trump, and
Yeah.
became very unpopular with some people and very popular with others. But I voted according to my heart, not according to his personality, but according to those things that he was led to say he would do. And during his first 100 days, we got that pro-life justice.
Mm-hmm.
He made the beginning efforts to defund Planned Parenthood.
We're still waiting.
He went into the economically deprived areas to begin to make some changes with HUD and Dr. Ben Carson. He's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so glad that, and he says, I like to watch you on television. I said, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Well,
and I got the pen when he signed the Religious Freedom executive order. He gave me that pen.
Oh, my.
Now, Patty, can I mention my books? Because we're going to have to wrap it up in a couple of minutes. But
sure.
AmericaReturnToGod.com. And then I'm at civilrightsfortheunborn.org. And my songs are on iTunes and cdbaby.com. I'm in the studio today recording my new musical project. And so we've got some different things, making happy, healthier families. In my family, we're working on some shows and things that we do to help the family, holiday celebrations that honor God,
yes,
and all that kind of thing. So we are very, very busy. When I say we, I and my family, I and Civil Rights for the Unborn, I with Alveda King Ministries. And I've got a great executive assistant, Eugene V. Hill. If you can't find me, email Eugene at priest, PRIESTSFOR life.org.
Would you ever
Eugene will help you out if you can't catch up with me.
Would it be at all, would you be able to come to Fort Wayne anytime to visit?
Ask Eugene or ask Diana at priestforlife.org.
Yes.
I go wherever I can, and I do go quite a few places.
That's good.
I had a little order from my doctor not to fly for 6 weeks.
Oh.
I had no idea if I could do that, but believe me, I'm into week 3.5. No airplanes. Isn't that amazing?
You're doing good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, my friend, we love you, and you're doing a smash-up job, my dear.
Thank
Very,
you. You
very
are too,
good.
and thank you for remembering me and having me to share with your audience. I greatly appreciate it, Patty.
Thank you for coming on to my show.
Thank you.
And God bless. She's going to sign her CD, her latest one. And look at her go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Will I be able to read that?
There you go. It's written in a foreign language.
Are you sure it's English?
It's written in big script.
Patty.
You are loved.
Oh, Shannon.
Yeah. Thank you. You bet.
You bet.
There you are. You're such a sweet lady.
God, you came here.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us all.